The best smartphones to buy in 2022. 1. Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. The best smartphone of 2022. The Samsung Galaxy S22 is a flagship smartphone of rare distinction. The most complete high-end handset the company has produced to date. It might cost you a bit more than other handsets on this list, but the S22 Ultra is the very best Android smartphone currently on the market. Samsung's latest big-screen beauty has received a bit of a facelift this year, with a new burgundy color and a fancy new camera array. Internal upgrades to Samsung's own Exynos 2200 processor makes this one of the most powerful smartphones we've ever tested, too. Likewise, the Galaxy S22 Ultra's cameras continue to impress, with improved zoom images. But perhaps the biggest new addition this year is the inclusion of Samsung's S Pen stylus. Borrowed from the Note line, this dinky doodler is a great tool, and it's something worth spending extra for. If you're after the very best that Android can muster, then make no mistake, it doesn't get much better than the Galaxy S22 Ultra. 2. Xiaomi Redmi Note 11, the best budget buy. Smartphone flagships are getting better and better, but with these top-notch innovations comes an increased cost. Paying almost four figures for the latest top-end smartphone simply isn't doable for most consumers, but thankfully Xiaomi's Redmi Note 11 provides a flagship experience at a vastly reduced cost. Xiaomi's cheapo handset has seriously reset the benchmark of what to expect from a smartphone in 2022. Equipped with a surprisingly speedy Snapdragon 680 processor, the Redmi Note 11 outperforms phones that cost twice the price, and then some. Its quadruple camera array is also excellent for the price, as is the large 6.43 inches FHD Plus screen with 90 Hz refresh rate. In fact, the Redmi Note 11 doesn't really fail in any area, especially when you consider how little it costs. If you're in the market for a new phone in 2022 and don't have a huge amount to spend, then the Redmi Note 11 is absolutely where your wallet should be headed. Read our full Xiaomi Redmi Note 11 review for more details. Key specs: processor, octa-core 2.4 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon 680, screen, 6.43 inches, 2400 by 1080, camera, 50MP, 8MP, wide, 2MP, macro, and 2MP, depth, storage, 128 GB, 2556 GB, operating system, Android 11. 3. Google Pixel 6, Pixel Perfect. Substantially cheaper than the rest of the flagship-class handsets on this list, Google's Pixel 6 is yet again a true Android tour de force. Not only does it vastly undercut rivals in terms of price, but it matches them in terms of performance as well, thanks to Google's new Tensor chipset. A significant speed boost over last year's model, a 75% increase in our tests. The Pixel SX's dual cameras are also practically flawless, beating out the more expensive Galaxy S21 and iPhone 12 Pro in terms of clarity, detail, and color reproduction. It's also the perfect flag bearer for Android 12. There's no better showcase of Google's latest version of its mobile operating system, ushering in a radically updated look and feel, courtesy of the new Material U design language. If you're a keen photographer, or you're simply after the very best that Android can get, then the Pixel 6 certainly won't disappoint. Read our full Google Pixel 6 review for more details. Key specs: processor, octa-core 2.8 GHz Google Tensor, screen, 6.4 inches, 2400 by 1080, camera, 50MP, 12MP wide, storage, 128 GB, 256 GB, operating system, Android 12. 4. OnePlus 10 Pro, the best value smartphone. The Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, as impressive as it may be, is still a phone reserved for the plumpest of wallets. Thankfully, as far as getting the best value for money is concerned, OnePlus has stepped in with the 10 Pro, a formidable flagship that's overflowing with features at a reduced cost. There's a lot to like here, too. Performance is top-notch courtesy of the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset, and battery life is rather impressive as well. The new design is also a bit of an eye-catcher, and we were impressed with the OnePlus 10 Pro's cameras in testing, particularly when it came to 10-bit color and RAW plus capture. The only slight downside is the lack of an IP68 protection rating, but that's about the only compromise. If you can look past this slight negative, then there's no doubt that you're getting an awful lot for your money. Read our full OnePlus 10 Pro review for more details. Key specs: processor, octa-core 3 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, screen, 6.7 inches, 3216x1440, camera, 48MP, 8MP, zoom, 50MP, wide, storage, 128GB, 256GB, operating system, Android 12. 5. Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3 5G, the best folding phone. Folding phones might still be getting off the ground, but the Galaxy Z Flip 3 5G is the first non-conventional flagship worth buying. The first of its kind to, finally, offer IPX8 rated waterproofing, as well as a more durable inner screen and hard-wearing armor aluminum frame. The Flip 3 5G not only looks the part, but it's also the first clumsy-proof folding phone as well. Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 powers things, providing a huge processing boost over last year's model, and the main display's refresh rate has doubled to 120 Hz as well. Best of all, however, is that the Flip 3 5G not only costs a heck of a lot more than its predecessor at launch, but it's also the first folding phone to drop below 4 figures. Priced the same as the iPhone 13 Pro, the Flip 3 5G is a much more tantalizing proposition, and now's the time to jump aboard the folding bandwagon. 6. Nokia 1.4, the best smartphone under 100. The Nokia 1.4 is a perfect example of not judging a phone based solely on how much, or in this case, how little, it costs. For less than £100, the Nokia 1.4 does everything any other smartphone is capable of doing, and you can buy almost 10 of these for the price of just one Samsung Galaxy S21. Naturally, there are a handful of drawbacks. Performance is rather slow and it only charges via micro USB, but for the most part, the Nokia 1.4 is a solid budget pick for those that don't fancy spending triple figures. You might be able to find better low-priced handsets if you're willing to spend just a little bit more, but if your budget is limited, you can't do much better than the Nokia 1.4 when it comes down to sheer affordability. 7. Apple iPhone 13 Pro, excessive excellence. What's so special about Apple's latest flagship? Well, aside from its wallet-scaring configuration options, the iPhone 13 Pro represents a handful of subtle tweaks on top of last year's iPhone 12 Pro. Yet again, Apple's F15 Bionic chipset is the fastest around, even surpassing the mighty performance of Snapdragon 888 equipped flagships. It's also the first iPhone with a 120 Hz display, while the main camera has inherited the sensor stabilization tech from last year's iPhone 12 Pro Max, with a slightly larger sensor and bigger pixels to boot. It's not the most groundbreaking of updates, but if you're an Apple devotee that happens to be nearing the end of a 24-month contract, then it doesn't get much better than this. 8. OnePlus Nord CE2 5G, simply superb value. Despite OnePlus continuing to move away from its flagship killing roots in recent releases, the Taiwanese phone firm still releases cut-priced handsets, this time in the form of the OnePlus Nord CE2 5G. It's not as feature-rich as the OnePlus 10 Pro, but for less than half the price, the OnePlus Nord CE2 5G is astonishing value for money. In most areas, the OnePlus Nord CE20 5G is just as good, if not better, in some cases. It has 5G support, which at this price is still a bit of a marvel, has a lovely 90 Hz AMOLED display, and its 24-hour battery life is frankly rather exceptional as well. There are a few downsides, of course, such as the lack of any official water and dust protection, but the OnePlus Nord CE2 5G is a capable value phone, with decent performance and a set of cameras that deliver crisp, well-exposed photos in most circumstances. It does everything so spectacularly, in fact, that little else comes close at this price. If you can't stretch your bank balance, then the OnePlus Nord CE is a very good value alternative. 9. Xiaomi 11T Pro, a flagship killing powerhouse. If the price of the latest and greatest flagships have you quaking in your boots, then the Xiaomi 11T Pro is the perfect alternative for the cost-savvy. Fitted with all the usual bells and whistles we tend to see in handsets that cost a heck of a lot more, the Xiaomi 11T Pro is stupendously good value, so long as you don't mind looking away from the usual big-name flagships. The Xiaomi Mi 11 uses the newest top-end Qualcomm processor, the Snapdragon 888, and it also uses the same 108MP camera as the four-figured Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. Its large Full HD AMOLED display is pretty much unmatched when it comes to color accuracy, and it's also the first phone with 120W charging, going from 0 to full in just under 20 minutes. Do your wallet a favor and save a chunk of cash by picking up the Xiaomi 11T Pro instead. You won't be disappointed. Thanks for watching.